Jamel President grew up less than a mile from the College of Charleston and graduated from Burke High School. He was as hard-nosed and spirited as any player I have ever coached. On the defensive end, he always guarded our opponent's best scorer. His jump shot was picture perfect, and he iced many games with his foul shots. In fact, in his senior year, he ranked 4th nationally from the foul stripe. He played in the backcourt with Anthony Johnson, and they made a magnificent duo. In an NCAA game against Stanford at the United Center in Chicago, Jamel was voted Chevrolet Player of the Game. After graduation from the college, Jamel has given so much back to the community. He presents to youngsters seminars in SAT taking and academics, and conducts clinics and camps teaching the ABCs of basketball. He is also president and CEO of the DAE Foundation. Jamel, congratulations, and a big thanks for your contributions and the role model you have become for the youth of Charleston.
President Benson.
Fundamentally mindful. And tonight, oatmeal recipe edition, we got Janet Carter talking about nutrition, Harry Cornell focusing on academics, and myself will be talking about skill development.
Hi, this is Janet Carter, registered dietitian with the Medical University of South Carolina, and today we're going to talk about injury nutrition and recovery nutrition. So with injuries, it's definitely important to heal your muscles or your tendons or whatever is injured. And there are a few specific nutrients that are helpful with the healing process. However, almost all nutrients are very important with healing. So as long as you're getting a good variety of foods, you should be able to heal properly with rest. But I do want to talk about specific nutrients that can help with the healing process. First of all, there's vitamin C, and vitamin C comes from a lot of fruits and vegetables for the most part. And then there's vitamin A, which also comes from a lot of fruits and vegetables, but also eggs are a very good source of vitamin A. And then there's zinc. Zinc is also an important healing nutrient, and that comes from mostly red meats and nuts. If you're going to choose red meats to get your zinc, be really careful and just choose very lean cuts of red meat so that you don't increase your level of saturated fat intake. The other nutrient that is important with healing is protein. And I don't want you to think that you need to load up on a lot of protein all the time when you're injured or recovering, but it is important to have some protein in your day. Now we're going to talk about recovery nutrition. And recovery nutrition is going to be more for after just a practice or a game. It's not really going to be when you're recovering from an injury, which we already talked about. It's going to be very similar, and it's important to get a lot of the same nutrients, of course, and overall good nutrition. But more specifically, you're going to want to focus on carbohydrates for your recovery from a practice or an event. So with your muscles, they have a storage form of calories called glycogen. And you use up a lot of that glycogen during a long bout of exercise. And so it's important to replenish your stores of glycogen so that you're able to perform again the next day. And the way to do that is to be sure that you're eating a good amount of carbohydrates within an hour of the event. And that way your glycogen stores will be replenished for the next time you exercise. So that's all that you need to know about recovery nutrition and eating for injury healing. And if you want any more information or if you want your own personalized information, please contact me at dietjc24@yahoo.com.
Thank you for tuning in to DAE TV, Fundamentally Mindful. On last week, we discussed initial eligibility, full qualifiers, academic red shirts, and non-qualifiers. We also talked about the difference between Division 1, 2, and 3. Today, we will discuss the core, What is the core? Where does the core come from? How does it affect my student athlete? Today we discuss on DAE TV, Fundamentally Mindful, the core. There are 16 core courses that have to be met with satisfactory production in order to be eligible to participate at the Division I level. The 16 courses to be required for Division I are 4 English, 3 years of math, 2 years of natural physical science, 1 year of a lab if offered by the high school, 1 year of additional English, math, or natural science, 2 years of social science, and 4 years of additional courses from any area above: foreign language, comparative religion, or philosophy. Very important message. As of 2016, the NCAA Division I will require 10 core courses to be completed prior to the 7th semester of high school. These 10 courses become locked in at the 7th semester and cannot be retaken for grade improvement. These 10 courses become locked in, and I repeat, at the 7th semester and cannot be retaken for grade improvement. Which means in 7 semesters, any core course taken after that will not be used to boost the GPA. Unlike Division I, let's discuss Division II core course requirements. Division II requires 3 years of English, 2 years of mathematics, Algebra 1 or higher, 2 years of natural science, 1 year of lab if offered by the high school, 3 years of additional English, math, or science, 2 years of social science, and 4 years of any additional courses from any of the above areas: foreign language, or comparative religion, or philosophy. As you take a look at the Division II core courses, they also equal 16 core courses. They're categorized in different ways than Division I, but they still equal 16 core courses. Let's talk about these core courses and where they come from. The core courses are compiled from the list of approved core courses. The list of approved courses is the curriculum offered at each individual school, submitted to the NCAA by the school administrator, guidance counselor, or some appointed school official appointed by that school. Each school has their own list of approved core courses. Each curriculum is different. Each list of approved core courses is different. If an athlete has a class on his transcript that does not match the list of approved core courses, that class does not count towards NCAA eligibility. With knowing and understanding the 16 core course requirement for Division I and Division II, it's very, very, very important to know your student's grading scale. The grades obtained within the 16 core courses will be a direct reflection of initial eligibility through the NC2A. Tune in next week on Fundamentally Mindful, where we go deep into the grading scale of South Carolina and how it compares to the neighboring states. How does it affect our athletes? Positive, negative, the unknown. For more information about initial eligibility and NC2A rules, contact me at page 16, p.a.c.e@outlook.com. Email me for more information.
The oatmeal recipe has 3 main ingredients that's vital to athletes' success: skill development, academics, and education. Hear all about it on DAE TV. DAE TV, fundamentally mindful. In the oatmeal recipes edition, which includes skill development, nutrition, and education, the skill development component is brought to you by President Training Systems. In this edition, we'll talk about ball handling, the 3 different type of ways to dribble: between the legs, behind the back, crossover. The 2 type of ways to dribble: lowercase i's and lowercase v. In this segment, the 3 type of dribbles to use are between the legs, which requires a lowercase v, behind the back, which requires a lowercase v, and crossover, which requires a lowercase v. Okay? Capital I's, ball comes above your knees. It's considered a capital I. My body structure, my elbows are bent, and my knees are straight in the capital I. In the lowercase I, my elbows are straight and my knees are bent. This is the most effective way to make a dribble, especially going through the lane. Check the body structure here. My knee is in a 90-degree angle. My hip is in an acute angle. Okay? Right angle dribbling is incorrect. Obtuse angle dribbling is incorrect. Have to be in the acute angle to be effective.
Is never at a loss of words, and in this special edition of Quentin's Close-Ups, he talks to me about domestic violence, South Carolina State University, Bobby Harrell, and much, much more. Well, Mr. Ford, you know, the last time we spoke was a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it too.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And I know that you were adamant about wanting to talk about Adrian Peterson. He's been really involved with the whole situation involving basically disciplining his kid. And, people like Charles Barkley and others have basically given mixed reviews about it. So tell me, what's your view of that?
But it's not really a mixed view. If you live in America today and you under, 40 years old, 45 years old,
yeah,
you was spanked by your parents. And when it's simple. You spat a rod, you spoil a child.
Like the Bible verse.
Like the Bible verse. And why should we get away from that? Integration, it was great to America. It was great. But a lot of things African Americans and a lot of white parents used to do was discipline their kids. When you look at Black America, during the 40s, right, 50s, 60s, 70s,
right,
early 80s,
90s,
you didn't listen. Oh no. That's when your generation got out of control because y'all wouldn't spank.
I was actually spanked with a bell broom.
Okay, and look how much difference it's made. Right. You're a young man who was spanked.
Right.
You're not involved with drugs. Right. You're not involved with gangster rap.
Right.
You're not involved with all the negative thing that is going on in America communities today.
Right.
But when you look at the Adrian Peterson situation, here's a young, proud African American father, who want to make sure his kids don't wind up with all the negative that is going on in America today as it relates to young men. Just not young black men, brown men, yellow men, young men, red, white, black, all of them involved with this gangster rap, drug culture, doing what they want to do to their parents, no discipline. And as a result, we broke down the fabric of what made America great.
South Carolina is ranked 2nd in the nation when it comes to women being murdered.
And we got the best law in the books.
Right. And
enforce it.
And of course, you mentioned the Folsom Courier. They did a tremendous series on called "Till the Death Do Us Part."
Well, that's good to read, but we got the law in the book. Enforce it.
Well, in fact, Bobby Howell actually appointed a committee.
We don't need a committee. Enforce the law on the books.
Okay.
It's just that simple.
Okay. But even before that, and as I was trying to talk
you
to
see, elected officials respond to things that they don't know about or forget about.
Right.
And Bob is a great person.
He is.
I'm telling them now, Bob, we don't need nothing else.
Okay.
We don't need no group. We don't need no committee. We need law enforcement and the solicitor office to do that job. It's just that simple.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But you know, you mentioned this earlier, and I was trying to get to you about this. But basically, you suggested legislation back in 1996, and it took until really 2003 for it to pass. And you actually said that this is one of the best, well, actually the greatest efforts to date. When you look back to
across the country,
right? When you look back to 1996 to right now, what is the biggest difference as far as curbing domestic violence in this state?
enforce the law. But here's the problem. Here's what, you know, people like to respond and react to situation in the media,
Sure.
in the news. Apparently, they decided that they're gonna try to go after some of these athletes, which is regrettable because that should never single people out.
Okay.
Because some of the most serious domestic violence abusers are elected officials. I know this for a fact. Okay, so you go after somebody, make the news, and then they run with it. Then they don't do that research, and so stuff like this come out, and everybody talking about it because it was in the newspaper.
Right.
The law is on the books. The bill is passed. It's a great piece of legislation. If you enforce it, we could end domestic violence in South Carolina and in this country.
And you know, I want to talk more.
And that's why you should spank your kids, because
Okay.
they would have enough sense to know when they see a young lady, or vice versa, they got to respect that person as a human being.
Sure.
So, and you learn that from being spanked.
Yes,
You
indeed.
don't learn that by some kind of magic, modern day so-called discipline tool that is not working. If it was working, we wouldn't be out of control in this country now with all of the crime that is done by young people.
Let's move from Columbia to Orangeburg and talk about South Carolina State. As you know, the university asked the state of government recently for a $12 million loan to keep the university afloat. Explain to me what South Carolina...
The government of South Carolina, General Assembly, got excuses. First of all, they have neglected the school since its conception. Ever since we had a South Carolina State, the General Assembly of South Carolina
Sure.
have never been fair to that school. Like they fair to the College of Charleston, like they fair to all the other dirty white institutions of higher learning. They've never been fair to state. And state officials made it easy by dibbling and dabbling with the money.
Okay.
That's easy. Now they can say, why should we give them people money when they're going to misspend it? Well, everybody misspend money. MUSC have had scandals. The University of South Carolina had scandals. And when I say scandals, I'm talking about major scandals with revenue. But ain't nobody did nothing about it. Ain't nobody stopped them from receiving their fair share of money to operate like they done in South Carolina State. So even though a lot of elected officials brought it on South Carolina State, it don't mean that the General Assembly still not obligated to make sure that those 6,000-7,000 kids that attend state every year don't get an adequate first-class education in the state of South Carolina, because it's still our institution and it's not going nowhere.
Well, explain to me what South Carolina needs to do, South Carolina State that is, needs to do to really keep themselves afloat.
No, like everybody else, they already done. South Carolina State done that job. As I said earlier, the General Assembly neglected the school because it's African American, and the African American people who been controlled in South Carolina State have been dabbling with the money for the last 45, 50 years. So that means the General Assembly got an excuse not to do what they need to do. That's why I raised hell when I was in the General Assembly about to making sure South Carolina State and every school get their fair share.
What's your message to them to solve this issue so that South Carolina State can be treated right? The lawmakers.
The lawmakers got to stop being racist and treat it right. Whatever, if it take $200 million from the state of South Carolina to run that school, we need to give them that $200 million every year.
Okay.
We're not doing that. We're giving them about 11 or 12 million. How you gonna do that? You can't run no school like that for no 11 or 12 million.
They're in need of repairs.
Man, you got buildings 75, 80 years old.
Right, up there.
You ever seen the College of Charleston not having buildings going up? Ever since I've been in Charleston, every day something going up. Citadel, something going up. Construction being done at those institutions, right? All USC, 3 and 4 buildings every year. South Carolina State. Be a miracle when you see somebody building something there.
DAE TV, fundamentally mindful.
So you talked about, the importance of of nutrition, education, and skill development, which is the oatmeal recipe ingredients. In our conversation, you mentioned those three things. So, in our last topic, talk about, the charity that you started and what's that all about, and why you think it's an important thing to do.
Obviously, the reason for your foundation, the call, and everything is definitely important. Obviously, skill development is important because if you don't hone in on your skills, like any job, any career, you won't be at your best. Obviously, like I said, nutrition and health is definitely the key, because you want to be working at optimum performance when your opportunity is called or your name is called. You don't want to, like a lot of kids nowadays, you come up with excuses. The coach don't like me, or he didn't tell me I wasn't ready. But if you stay ready, then you don't have to get ready. So that's definitely tough in these days and times as well, because we got so much going on. But in converse, you can learn how to run faster, jump higher, by YouTube. So it should be
Right.
Excuses are limited. So that's important. I do have a charity called Outreach Global. We help not underprivileged kids, but kids in need through peer counseling. I'm a teacher at a school. I coach high school football and Little League football here in South Florida. And I found over the years, even growing up, with my mom teaching first grade for 35 years, and my dad being a preacher, and an only child, the most of the lessons and the most things we listen to probably is each other. My mom can tell me, but who's my mom? She didn't have the same things. But if somebody else like me or you, or even hey, I'm in third grade, but an eighth grader tell me don't do that. That's not nice.
Right.
I'm probably gonna listen to my peers.
Right.
As well as my parents, but my peers will have more of an influence on me. And so we have peer counseling groups where we pair eighth graders up with fifth graders to help them with their homework, to help them, outside of school or in school, a mentor, sort of say. They come and talk to them because they've been through it and they'll listen to them. So when I say, hey, that's not the right way, and I reinforce it by an eighth grader telling you, hey, that's not the right way.
Right.
And y'all in the same school, and you see him at the big lunch table, then it's the same thing. A senior, a 12th grader, helping a freshman. Hey, look, I've been in this school. I've done it. It doesn't work that way.
Talk about, when that thing started hitting home, man. When it started hitting reality. When people started seeing Oronde, Gadsen, NFL. When did that start happening? How that made you feel? When that started happening at Winston-Salem State?
Obviously, you, like I said earlier, you carry a little bit of Charleston wherever you go. So I was always thinking, and still do think, I represent Charleston wherever I am. And you just want to do your best. You don't want to go out there and the worst thing is for, to get back home that you're not doing your best. And that accounts for being like we're saying, being a student and an athlete. You don't ever want to be on probation or flunk out of school. So you do good in your schoolwork. And once again, like I said, if you're not doing good in your schoolwork, you can't play.
Right. After all our hard work, you got 228 receptions, 3,252 yards, and 24 touchdowns for your career. I mean, that's and a Super Bowl ring. That's something to be reckoned with. You want to chime in, or you was about to say something?
No, I was just saying, it was the opportunities you're given. You have to be prepared. When your name is called, no matter when it is. I enjoyed the ride. I learned a lot. Along the way. Like I said, ultimately, when I got to Miami and got a chance to be a starter, and actually, I had already all these experiences I had already had, so I was kind of ready for the I was kind of ready for that opportunity. You know, you got to be ready when the opportunity knocks. You can't be, hold on, let me get it together. And then, you know, like I said, I'd already been cut. I'd already been to Dallas. I'd already been to the World League. I'd already been to the Arena League. I'd already been to Winston-Salem State. You know, I was ready. You know, it wasn't like, oh, they caught him by surprise and he wasn't ready. I was ready for the opportunity.
Right. You know, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's you know, we had in Charleston. You know, thank you for, you know, representing us. You know, to the highest you can, and you know, your name, even though you're not here, your presence still reigns, whether you know it or not. So, you know, at DAE TV, want to thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being who you are, and continue to you know, to do what you do, and hopefully kids and student athletes will be blessed through your energy.
Yeah, man, thanks. Thank you for doing it. You know, you were one of those guys who definitely listened and took what we said as older guys and put it to use. And glad to see you doing well. And anytime DAE TV needs me to step in and help, do anything I can, feel more than welcome to give me a call, and I'll do my best to be there.
Thank you. And one more thing I want to say, I do look at some photos and, you know, online, and you know, just puts one thing in perspective for the audience, that, you know, I see you know, hugging with Dwayne Wade and mostly stars. You know, people here, you know, look up to Dwayne Wade and those guys, and then we have a local star that's, you know, that's friends with those guys. That's something to be said. It's a different perspective, and people see it. Even myself, you know what I'm saying, I'm not I don't get what do you call it, celebrity starstruck and all that, but that was kind of impressive, man, to see that. And so, you know, that's just, you know, that's just, again, that's just impressive. You know what I mean? And kids from this area need to see someone they can be from Burke and end up being friends with Dwayne Wade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm in South Florida. Like I said, when I was with the Dolphins, we were the Heat before the Heat. So
exactly.
I'm friends with all those guys just from going to the games and being around town. And I'm not one of the few. Probably many of us stay, but I'm one of those guys that stayed in the community and do tons of things. So we cross paths a lot. So you know, like I say, all the Heat players, even LeBron when he was here, D Wade, and I'm more of the D Wade, Zoe, Tim Hardaway type. We were then, you know, so all those guys are definitely my friends, and we support each other. They have an event, I go. I have an event, they come. So it's just how it is.
Nice, man. Well, thanks for being a part. And thank you for your time, man. And enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be in touch soon.
All right, you too. Thanks.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Cedric Weber directs traffic out front, and he'll take the three. A little bit long, got his own rebound. Bank it up, no good. Rebounded by Carl Thomas. Quickly outlets a pass to McCravey, and to the cutting Danny Colorado. Cedric Weber, nice pass by McCravey. Looking down to the baseline, the turnaround by Thomas misses, but Lumpkin gets a rebound. Plays to Carlos Brown, and he drops in the three-pointer. Inside pass to Weber. Oh, what a shot!
In the second half, we eventually go down about 10 points, but we still believe in ourselves. And then we start making the jumpers. The shots that have been ice cold start going in. We make 6 out of 13 three-point shots. Carl Thomas is on fire. Danny Johnson makes drives, makes rebound shots. Ted Weber becomes alive, becomes a major factor in our offensive system. Shane McCravey, only 1 turnover, plays great offense and great defense.
He'll be with the Tar Heel football team on the 19th as the slam goes down by Thomas.
And a good pass by Weber.
Yes, indeed.
Now, conversion is what Charleston has to do this time down the court.
Danny Johnson, he did a three.
And that ties the game.
For a team to play for 40 minutes with the Tar Heels and being behind and staging the comeback and rally shows that we have a lot of courage. We are a team that has talent is courageous, executes where they have to, and has unity. That's what it's all about. And that's what it takes to win a game like this. We were sensational.
McCraney inside Lumpkin. He puts up the shot and knocked it down.
Shot clock's off.
64-63 in favor of Charleston. North Carolina calls timeout. Danny Johnson will make the inbounds pass. He looks, he plays it in, and here they come in a hurry. Cedric Weber with the ball. Elijah has him. He puts up the jump shot, and it's no good. The follow is. The shot goes with 1/10 of a second on the clock. Danny Johnson knocked it in, and Charleston leads by 2.
A player from North Carolina cannot possess the ball. They got to throw the ball and just bat it into the basket. If somebody catches it, the game's over.
That's not going to get it done. And what an upset for the College of Charleston Cougars, defeating the third-ranked and previously unbeaten North Carolina Tar Heels 66-64, and they're dancing in the streets in Charleston, South Carolina right now.
DAE TV, fundamentally mindful. We're here at DAE TV, fundamentally mindful, and we're here with a legend, Coach Fordham, Mr. Frizz, Coach Frizz, however you want to say it. How you doing today, big guy?
Well, fine.
Fine, good, good. Well, we're here today, like I said, you know, being a local player and a local athlete coming up, always heard about you. Didn't play football that much. I wish I did, but always heard about you. All my peers, my little brother, everybody played with you. My dad, Zola, you know, coached a couple of teams under you. So, you know, give us a little feedback on Mr. Fordham, high school, college, and then how you started and fell into love of rec basketball.
Well, where I started, I was, how I get started anyway, when they was hired to give me the job.
Right.
Mr. Richard sent to my house one afternoon to give me the job, so I went and talked with him. And he sent me on the downtown to the office and signed me up, and next thing you know, I had a job with the city.
Nice, nice.
And now I've been with the city going on 50 years.
50 years.
But I retired at 40 and they called me back.
Right, right.
And after they called me back, and I've been here another 10. And I had an interview with the mayor.
Yeah.
Gave me 50 years award.
Right, right.
And from then on, after that, I just went at home, and I went at home, and I coached up there ever since I was down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I've been winning.
Winning.
So I didn't make them change the rules in football, not too much in basketball, but I couldn't have get basketball because I had people that played girl basketball.
Right.
I had a girl, those William girls,
right.
played for me over 2 years, and I won the championship 2 years with them. They went on to, I know one of them went to state, and I think both of them went to state.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get back with the boys, we had good boys basketball team.
Right.
But you know, the boys was pretty good now. Seemed like things just changing in sport with the kids now. It seemed like they just getting away from it, especially baseball and football, but they traded to basketball.
Right.
Every yard you go to now, you'll see a kid bouncing a basketball. But then a couple of years ago, we tried to get them in baseball, and it seemed like
baseball started in the rise now, especially in our community. So, you know, talk about, like I said, because we talk about this certain play, you know, in your system, and don't give your recipe out, but talk about that play that a lot of people, you know, can't stop. What's it called?
Crisscross 33.
Crisscross 33. That's what it's called.
Bread and butter.
That's the bread and butter.
At the first play, I'll never forget. I taught those kids. And me and my sister, we worked with those kids. And everywhere you go in Charleston, there you can always say crisscross 33.
Crisscross 33. What do you see in our today's athletes versus, you know, our time coming up? You know, are there a different approach? Like you said, are they mostly playing basketball? Are they in love with getting better? What do you see?
You see, what I see now, what you are, my assistant would handle basketball here, but I see the kids now mostly mind on basketball. You know, which one is good, but then Mario, he good basketball coach. I mean, but and some things, you know, if you make mistakes, then I set straight, you know, we straighten it out. But we change things. We have good plays. We change, you know. When we play a team, if I see things, well, he's coach, but if I see things ain't going right, then I go and tell him change so and so, and he doesn't.
Right.
But very seldom we used to use in basketball.
Right.
So, you just like I said, you're going to have two head always better than one in any sport you do.
Any sport you do.
What I like about the game is the kids now is you can go down to Mitchell basketball. But after they take away Harmon, see the thing just beginning to change.
Took away Harmon. Wow.
Everything just changed in sport.
Well, I see a lot too. They got a lot of half court goals. You don't see full court out no more. You know, and kids want to get out and run. So what that do is kind of kids. Well, if I can't get out and run half court, then I'm not going out there.
Thank you.
So that's going to increase more crime, more idle time. That, you know, like I said, idle mind is the devil's workshop. You know.
And the thing about it, you know, because at home you had that too, full court, and I mean it's always
up. Always. Oh, you can put some lights up there, and the kids will play all day. You know. But yeah, you had a couple of knuckleheads out there doing some obscene things, but that's what patrolling and keeping everything under orders for. You don't sabotage the whole operation because there are kids that need to exercise.
And you know, that's one thing about Harmon. I mean, I was okay. I can walk out there, they going with them kids, good one comes, they quit. Yeah, basketball has always been good, especially in Charleston.
Especially in Charleston.
Yeah, especially in Charleston.
And
Brook Everett had, well, like Brook Everett had a good basketball team.
Right.
You know, but it seemed like though the kid parents sending them somewhere else.
Well, it's because of the whole thing we talked about when taxes are being, you know, when taxes are rising in homes and people can't afford them, you got to relocate. So that's the problem where zoning and schools, everything's coming into play. And I think you know, we as a culture, as a community, you know, we can't control that, but at the same time, we also can find our ways to be beneficial into movements. And I just wanted to, you know, shed light to the community about, you know, who everybody looks up to me so-called as a whatever, but, you know, we have legends, we have people that looks up, we have people like yourself that was a pioneer that helped these things happen. So I just want to say, you know, thank you for doing what you do, and you might not think, you know, people know about you, but, you know, people do appreciate, you know, what you do, and this will help. You know, some of those players out there, man, that came through this program, come back, you know, come back and shake your hand and get some dollars and get some things, you know, back to the community. So they can help, so he can help, and this community can help build people like yourself that's doing things out there. Well, you know, we want to thank Mr. Fordham, Mr. Frisk, for doing all of it, giving 50 plus years of service to the Charleston community. We thank him and we appreciate everything you do. DAE TV, fundamentally mindful.
and 2. There's a shot clock.
North Carolina, the epitome of success and class in the world of college hoops. North Carolina, 5 Final Fours in the 90s, 3 national championships. North Carolina, where when you graduate, you usually go to the NBA. North Carolina, 3rd in the nation, 8-0, until Saturday, December the 5th, a day that will always be remembered by our players, our fans, and myself, as a day when the College of Charleston played the David and Goliath role, oh, so well.
4-on-1. And here comes Cedric Weber, lay it up, he got it, and he was fouled on the play. Tar Heels, 3:30 on the clock, Capel on the move again. And he ran into some pretty serious defense. Circle the wagons time for Brooker, lay it up and in. Jermel President off the fast break. Makes it a 1-point ball game.
Well, that's a big turnaround right there.
Don't touch the spot. You touch the spot, see Kenneth, and see the ball by looking straight. See what I'm saying? Put your hand back up, let's go. So anything comes, that's your antenna. Okay? If you're here, get back. Like how you work. And this is down. Put this down. Giving that up. Okay? Now take that way Justin. How should we turn it in? Alright? Do that again, Kenneth. And move it. Alright? You came here, hop, right? You got the bit on that, right? Okay, so now you come here, you brought over, right? And do the same thing to me that he did to you. You're here, hop, go back. Hop. That? All because of what? My antenna. Now go again. I tell you, if your antenna's not up, it's not going to work. Go again. Hop, now go. You're done. Alright, so you get it. Go. Move. Alright. You can't turn your back on the ball. Right, let's go. Fast, can't do so. Let's go again. Ho. Go again. Okay. I hope you see what I see as a player. I see it. Okay, well let's do that. Alright? You don't see it. You don't see what I see as a player. Now you gotta take all that away. Okay? You can't be so far away from him that you're giving all this up. Okay? You gotta be here in this midpoint. He's gotta come to you. He's here, giving us a shot. Back.
The main thing is keeping the defender, keeping the offensive guy at least arm's length in front of you. You don't want him too far away from you because you can't control that speed. You don't want him too close to you because then you got so many ways to get around you. Keeping him at an arm's length is easy for you to control the offensive guy and let him know where you, keeping him going where you want him to go.
Think about that.
Another key attribute to being a great defender is using your peripheral vision. Locking in the offensive guy's abdomen. Not to the left, not to the right, because you might get a blind pick that can totally take you out of the offense, out of the defense. Both. Peripheral vision. Very important on the defense. Not getting blindsided by a pick. Keeping your eyes on an athlete's abdomen the whole time. Very important. Keeping the defender in front.
Alright, so what we're going to do is learn to figure eight. Balls in the middle. Alright, the rule is pass and go behind. Okay? pass and go behind. All right, so it's all timing from the passer and from the receiver. Okay, let's walk through it. Who's up front? Let's go. Brown, let's go. All right, so as we started, you guys should be going towards the elbow. Who know where the elbow is? Okay, wings should be going towards the elbow. Okay, so let's go. Walk it. Wings, let's go. No. Stop. Somebody move. Where's the elbow? Okay, go back and walk towards the elbow. Loop. Get 20. Step up. Alright? Let's go. Walk towards the elbow. Let's go. When that happens, I'm passing in here. Boom. Alright? Going behind. You should be coming. Pass it. Boom. Going behind. Let's go. Pass it to me. Behind. Alright, you should be catching up, Luke. Go behind. Let's go. Luke. Let's go. Make the layup, Luke. Alright, kid. Let's come back again. Who's in the middle? No. You're against the ball, right? There you go. Alright, let's go. Boom. Let's go, Brown. Come on, let's go. Make the pass. Come on, let's go. Come on, Brown. Make the layup, Luke. Figure 8. DAE TV, fundamentally mindful. DAE TV, fundamentally mindful. We're here today with Coach Chuck Driesell. How you doing today, big guy?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So we're gonna get right into it, Coach. Let's talk about you being a kid and the aspirations of being a student athlete. Watching your father coach. Talk about those days of being a water boy and a ball boy, and then and your dreams of playing in the ACC.
I was very, very blessed, very fortunate to have great parents. One of them happened to be in the business of basketball, and my dad loved the sport, loved the game, loved the competitive nature of it all, and obviously being around that kind of rubbed off on me. And fortunately, I was always around it. I don't remember the days when he was the head coach at Davidson. A little bit, but I left there when I was 4 years old, and but when I was at Maryland, it was a tremendous experience for me. Having the opportunity to be around the game, to be around great players, great people, and then my dad exposing me to that, letting me be really a big part of it. And like you said, I was the water boy. I went to practices. He let me practice against those guys as I got a little older and into high school. And we're talking about guys like Albert King, Buck Williams, Tom McMillan, John Lucas, people just that made a huge impact on the game, Lenny Elmore. And then, when it came time for me to pursue the sport and to try to work really hard to get a scholarship, to be a really good student, I use those things that I learned from those other people, the competitive nature, the toughness, the love of the sport, to drive me not just in basketball but also in the classroom. Because I knew if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to pursue my dream of basketball. And for me, it was a no-brainer to go play at the University of Maryland if I had that opportunity. I had some other good opportunities, but I took that chance, I took that route, and it was a great experience for me.
Good. And we talk about those attributes you've gained from being around those players, those leadership qualities, those sacrificing situations, and the toughness. All that applies to your everyday life right now. And one of our main ingredients in our recipe is academics. And you being a former current student athlete, majoring in business and marketing, talk about the importance of the education from a student athlete.
It's second to none. And I'll tell you the biggest thing for me, and I try to share with young people, is that because so many people fall in love with a sport. I fell in love with basketball, and I was never the most talented player, but I was always the hardest working. I knew I could be the hardest working player. I knew I could be in the best condition. I knew I could train the hardest. It didn't matter what my talent level was. So my dad instilled that in me, and so I just took that concept and said, you know what, I'm going to be a really good student. And I did the same thing. I wasn't the brightest, I wasn't the smartest, but I worked hard at it, and I got into those books, and I went and met with my teachers, and so I just took what I did with basketball and transformed it into the academics, and it worked out pretty good for me.
Right.
So,
and that's what we try to do. That's try to implement into our current student athletes, because no one's thinking NBA, WNBA.
Right.
We're just talking about going hard every day to obtain a goal and outworking the most gifted student or people, whether it's being athletics or academics.
And in both of those areas, I think that sometimes it gets overlooked, but it just kind of is natural. I couldn't have done it myself. I had to have help.
Right.
From a basketball standpoint, I had people who talk to me, teach me, work with me. From an academic standpoint, I had to go get that extra help. And I think sometimes young men and women are hesitant to do that, but there's everyone needs help, and I talk to my players about that. Don't be afraid to get extra help. Don't be worried about asking questions, coming and getting extra shots up, or to learn something new about basketball. Same thing applies with academics, and I couldn't have done or be where I am today without the help of a lot of people.
Right, and I think what most athletes got to understand too, that it's not innate. You know what I mean? It's like a water. It's like a seed. Your dad was that water to that seed that was that's in us as humans, and it takes someone that we respect to really get that going for us.
That is true, and that's one of the reasons why I got into coaching.
Right.
So I could give that opportunity or give that information or that lesson back to the young men that I get the opportunity to coach.
Right. You said, talking about coaching, how did you? I know you wanted to coach. You said you wanted to coach. How did that happen from going from the Naval Academy to your first job at James Madison?
Well, quite honestly, I really wasn't thinking much as a player when I was playing at Maryland for my dad about being a coach. I was thinking I was getting my degree in business marketing, and I wanted to go into some sort of sports fields because I love it so much, but I really want to make a lot of money. I want to go out and sell things and make money, and some of my friends had done the same thing that I'd seen from high school who weren't athletes, and so that was really my focus through college. But as my senior year ended, I had the opportunity to go work with Paul Evans at the Naval Academy. At the time, they were playing extremely well. They had David Robinson. They had several really good players, really good teams. And I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. It's in my blood, obviously. My dad did it. And so when I went up there and took that job, I was the head coach of the Naval Academy Prep School, and I had 13, 14 young men under me, and I just fell in love with the coaching aspect of it, and the giving back, and the teaching, and the relationships. And so from that point on, I've been in coaching, and I got to James Madison University because of my dad.
Right.
He got the job there, and so I was fortunate enough to have a good network with him, and he gave me that chance to be an assistant coach at a really good school and program like James Madison University, and we did some really nice things for 9 years there. Worked really hard, won a lot of games, won some championships, and that just kind of sent me into my coaching career to where I am today.
Right. Talk about your freshmen, sophomores, juniors, anybody that you see, anybody that you see that's you really looking to be a leader this year.
Yeah, well, I can
without giving up too much.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you too much of secrets, but what's exciting and different about this year that has been for my last 3 is that I finally have more than one senior on my team, on my roster.
That's very important.
Yeah, it is, and that's who we're going to rely on. We have 3 seniors this year: Ashton Moore, Marshall Harris, and PJ Horgan, who have logged quite a bit of minutes over the past several years. And they have a tremendous amount of experience. Their confidence is good. It'll even continue to get better. But they know what it takes to win. They know what we're expecting to do when we walk on that court every night. And I'm just really excited that we have that type of experience. So those three guys are going to be our leaders. They're going to be our guys that are going to step out there every day and practice on the court and demand a certain level of toughness, of execution, and they know what to do.
Right.
It's hard coaching young guys. I mean, it's fun.
Right.
It's really fun because you're teaching and you're watching them get a little bit better. But it's hard because they go out there and they're still learning. And they're going up against some tough competition night in and night out. But that's the exciting part. I have two juniors, and C.J. Bray, who's actually a redshirt junior. So he would have been a senior this year, but he got hurt a year ago, and that gave him a redshirt year. And Quentin Marshall, who has just developed a little bit better every single day. And so those five guys, along with my three sophomores, who one of them was Brian White, who is a freshman on the all-freshman team, brings us some good experience and a lot of talent. And then we have four freshmen. As of right now, we don't have to really count on any of those freshmen like we've had in the past.
Just a plus when they come through.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a few that I think will. So it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to getting on the court with these young men. Like I said, having three seniors is something we haven't had since my first year here. And I think that'll be the big reason for our success as the season progresses.
Yes. So, Coach, in closing, our oatmeal recipe, like I said, is 3 ingredients: skill development, academic, and education. Skill development, academics, and nutrition. Talk about and tell the people how important that is. We touched based on all those 2 things, which was hard work and skill development. Yeah. And hard work in academics, hard work to keep your body situated. Talk about how important that is, and tell the the community how important those 3 ingredients are to be a successful student athlete.
Well, there's no substitute for hard work, and that's the number one thing. If you're willing, one of the main I've learned a long time ago from other people that one of the main reasons people are let go of their jobs or their profession or whatever is because they're not on time. So that's just having a focus, having a strong desire, developing a work ethic. And it doesn't come overnight. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would have these 3 things. So it's just somebody that has a dream, and we encourage that here. I've encouraged that everywhere we go, that whatever your dream is, work hard towards it. Develop some skills. We do a lot of skill development, trying to get better at passing, at dribbling, at shooting, at defense, the fundamentals. It's not complicated, but get good at it and really understand it and work at it, understand what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and be better at it. And then the nutritional part, your body is what's doing all this stuff. So, and not just your body, but your mind. We talk about what you put into your mind will eventually be what comes out. Right. And so we talk a lot about that and thinking good thoughts and being a good person, being a contributor to society and doing what's right when no one's looking. All these things we think are important, and I would agree with you, are the staples to being a successful, happy person.
Nice. Well, you heard it first here at DAE TV and Fundamentally Mindful. We'll be right back.
So as he's coming up, I'm defending him, right? So coming here, long, short, okay? So when he comes and he changes directions, all right, stop, boom. I'm here. Now if I was here, then you can get that beat on me. If I'm here, it's wide open, all right? So if I'm in position, slow in the V. So if I'm here, slow, long, short, right? The key thing is when they change directions, I can't move my left foot first. I'm not going anywhere. So So it has to be, otherwise, you move this foot first, that's how you get crossover. Because what happens is that, let's say he comes here, let's say he does this. Boom, right? Do that twice. Incorrect way. Done. Let's say he do it this time. What is the drop step? Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing you this. What is drop step? You gotta have a drop step. Boom, boom. Let's go 25%. Good. Don't let your heels touch. Go when he gets to the third cone, Justin. Not yet. Stay down, Justin. Stay down. Don't let your heels touch. Good. Sit down a little bit more, Jay. No, Kenneth. Don't let your heels touch. Wide. Go back.
In this week's edition, we're going to focus on defense slides. Being able to stay in front of the defender. Moving your feet laterally. Keeping a wide stance. Drop stepping when the defender changes directions. All these things are important into being a great defender. Taking pride in being scored on. All these things equals up to a great defender. Having that strong base, a strong burst of energy, getting beaten that offensive guy from one spot to the other. Reading your defender, knowing what hand that offensive player is. If he's a right-handed person, you want to force him left. If he's a left-handed person, you want to force him right. If he's a great jump shooter, you want to make him drive. If he's a great driver, you want to make him shoot. These things are very crucial in being a great defender, taking control of that offensive player.
DAE TV, fundamentally mindful.
DAE TV, Fundamentally Mindful. We're here with David CROWLEY from the Alley. How you doing, David, guys?
Doing well, man.
Good.
Pleasure.
Good.
Always good to see you, man.
Definitely. So let's take you back a little bit about David CROWLEY, native of where, high school, collegiate stories, and get into how all this came about.
Absolutely. Well, I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. When I was young, about 3 years old, moved to Richmond, Virginia. Okay. All the way through elementary school. When I was about 11 years old, moved to, it was 1991, moved to Savannah, Georgia. Okay. So spent the majority of time growing up in Savannah, through middle school, through high school, and then to the college of Charleston. One of the best places to live. Yeah, it wasn't too much of a difficult decision for me. I got into the University of Georgia. A lot of my friends were going there. At the time, there was the Hope Scholarship, so you could go to school for free. Right. So when I told my parents that I wanted to go to college in Charleston, they about lost it. But luckily back then, when you and I were in college, tuition wasn't quite what it is today. Right. But it's still worth everything to go to college. I'm just not sure I would have been able to go to college. But enjoyed every minute of it, graduated in 4 years, which is an accomplishment at times for college in Charleston. Had a great time, and I got to know you. Actually, after that, I moved, got into a different career. Graduated 4 years, and then I got into the sports business. So I went from
sports business. You mean an agency?
I worked for a sports agency. I represent professional golfers, so I worked for PGA Tour, and I moved from nice, beautiful Savannah, Georgia, nice, beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, up north to northeast Ohio, in a little town called Stowe, Ohio. So this man was a fish out of water up there, so I went up there strictly for a career, and I worked in the sports agency business for about 6 years. Loved it. Really enjoyed the business. Just got to a point in time when I decided to cut ties and decided to leave northeast Ohio and move back to Charleston.
Okay, move back to Charleston. I won't never forget it. I think we either have a lunch or talk, and he's like, Schmel, I'm bringing an alley to Charleston.
That's right.
Okay, well now there's something difficult. We really need that. Now, a couple of years later, the alley's here. It existed a couple of years. Now talk about that transition from being a sports agent, what struck the interest with the alley, and how it all came about.
Absolutely. With the conversation we're talking about, I remember it like it was yesterday. We were actually both doing something for the College of Charleston. Okay. We were out on John's Island at a church. It was a day of caring with Trident and United Way, and you and I were painting the table. I don't know if we're doing the best job of painting the table, but we were talking, we were making things happen, we were trying to help out the community. It was hot. We were sweating, taking breaks in the car, turning on the AC. You and I got to talking about, I think we had just kind of started to formulate the concept of what was going to happen here in Charleston. My partner's from Raleigh, North Carolina, and we also own and operate a bowling alley up in Raleigh. And that's an old bowling alley, been around since 1961. So that's where you kind of see the throwback here in the alley in Charleston to the ties in Raleigh. It's an old school, bring you back to the early 60s, 60s, 70s style. Still manual scoring, it's 24 lanes there. So with Raleigh, the template already existed. When we decided, Jimmy, my business partner, he was in commercial real estate. The economy was kind of, the climate was not so good. Everybody remembers 2008, 2009, 2010. Everybody's going to forget the Great Recession. But anyway, long story short, we got to talking. I started helping up in Raleigh, and we started to formulate the idea for what would work here. And we knew bowling was downtown didn't exist. That was the obvious niche. What we were trying to look at is what else? What else can we do downtown Charleston, be good for the community, but also what other niches are in town? Charleston, as it's a big culinary town. There are restaurants everywhere. There's bars, sports bars. We felt like there wasn't a great sports bar. In downtown, we felt like downtown there was a market. Because I'm a sports fan. You're a sports guy. I'm not watching basketball. I'm not watching football games. And trying to find the right place to go. We never came to a place that we felt like was our place. So that was the niche, and I feel like now, we're almost 2 years in the business that niche has been met. We've done a good job of providing a great sports bar environment. We were lucky enough to win City Paper. We were voted the best sports bar in Charleston this year.
What do you see the alley going in the next 2 or 3 years? Is it an expansion to another spot in your city or another spot in another state? In closing, what do you see? What do you want the community to see the alley in the next 2 or 3 years?
I want the community to continue coming in. I want the community to continue seeing what we do in terms of giving back. We mentioned all the other things that we do at times that are for profit. We're still a new business. We're still 2 years in the restaurant industry. As you know, that's relatively new. But what I want the community to know is we have a group of about 10 core nonprofits that we get back to, and we do various events, many events throughout the year that cater to those groups. And then to your question, moving forward. What's the next steps for the business of the alley? There's Raleigh, there's Charleston. I don't know that Charleston has really become oversaturated with restaurants, and they put in a moratorium or they put a stop on business licenses because I get it. It's a great place. It's a great culinary town. We've got affordable food. We feel like we've got a niche here. But I don't think we want to double down in this town on what we're doing. We want to gain a reputation in a city that's very well known and then move to another market. There's a couple other markets. Since day one, we've been approached by various people in different cities. But there's several markets that we're targeting and looking more towards the future. So. At the end of the day, we'd love to see 5, 6, 7, 8 of these things around the Southeast, if not around the country. We believe we have niches that are different and unique, and this place is different and unique enough that it can stand out almost in any state. So.
Well, I tell you what, if and when you do it, you're the man to get it done. You're your partner. We really appreciate you having Alley in the Charleston area, in our community, and look forward to building our personal relationship, our friendship. Good luck to you in your future endeavors.
Mel, thank you, sir. Everything you do for the community, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
You're a good man.
Thank you. DAE TV, fundamentally mindful. Be right back.